Hello, everybody. My name is Lionel. Gary asked me to open up the show. He's just backstage getting ready for the interview a little later on, so he asked me to introduce our opening act. Please welcome with a wonderful little tune, Rum Ragged.
There's a girl in St. John's harbor that I'm longing for to see. No one does know that girl, my boys, half as much as me. She cried so when I left her that it nearly broke her heart. And if we ever meet again, we never more will part. She's the sweetest girl in color that a poor boy ever knew. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds bright, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your mainland girls, but I've known none so grand. You'll find no girls to love you like the girls of Newfoundland. The summer winds are blowing and the starry nights are bright. I take her to the nickel most every weekday night. And as we watched the pictures, I oft to her did say, I hope you don't forget me while I am far away. She's a sweetest girl in color that a poor boy ever knew. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds bright, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your mainland girls, but I've known none so grand. You'll find no girls to love you like the girls of Newfoundland. The winter winds are howling, and I think it's time to go, to cross the briny ocean without a friend or foe. And when I reach that foreign place, I'll stand there on that strand, and I'll be proud to be back with my girl from Newfoundland. She's the sweetest girl in color that a poor boy ever knew. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds bright, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your mainland girls, but I've known them so grand. You'll find no girls to love you like the girls of Newfoundland.
Welcome back to NL Now. I'm here today in the interview chair with a new author in Newfoundland and Labrador. Please welcome Justin Hodder. How are you doing today, Justin?
Hey Gary, how's it going? I'm doing
Good.
great.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm pretty good. It's a beautiful day, so I can't complain. So how about you start off just by telling the viewers about the storyline of your new book and what can they expect if they read it?
Yeah, so I've recently launched my debut novel titled The Mists of Mourn. Don't let the title fool you though, although it got great ties to our lovely province.
Yes.
I always tell people, don't expect it to take place here type thing. There's a more deeper story.
Right.
But basically, yeah, it's about a young female archaeologist who I guess got in the field and thought, her career in business would go a lot quicker than expected, and she didn't want to wait to be older before she got that name for herself. But unfortunately, things aren't coming as quick as she wanted, so she kind of uses some unethical means, we'll say, to get ahead of her cohorts. But when she goes pursuing the artifact, which I can't give the details, but it's this little trinket right here, she travels to South America, and let's just say she gets tangled up with some pretty bad people that really make her think, should she keep going or should she stop and go home? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
pretty dangerous. So.
Yes. So how's the response been so far from the readers?
Great. I mean, so far, at this current time, I've had it out for a couple months now.
Right.
And we recently just cracked 700 copies sold independently. I'm self-published, so that means that everything you see here, to the cover design, the back design, everything, the title, everything you see inside was all from me. And I'm handling the sales as well. So I just cracked 700, which was a huge achievement. And great feedback. Amazon feedback is great. Local feedback is great. I'm having people compare it to things, like I said, such as a modern time female Indiana Jones, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the excitement's really, really there.
Yeah, so you say it's self-published. So what are some of the biggest challenges in doing it that way?
Well, for me, I didn't start in the writing world, so to speak. I'm more of a creative soul. So I really had to start literally from scratch. So I mean, in some essences, writing the book was easy.
Right.
But then I had to find editors, I had to find graphic designers, I had to find printers, and these are all things that really posed a challenge because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to start, so I had to lean on a lot of the internet, of course. But I have a few friends in the writing world who helped segue me into the cracks and crevices that we need to get to. Yes. And ultimately, I was super impressed with all the work that came out of it.
So what originally inspired you to write this book?
Well, honestly, like I said, maybe misleading, but I had a visit to Gross Mourn in 2019, which is on our west coast, for those who don't know, of Newfoundland. And we went over with a friend of mine. He was getting married, so a few of us guys went over there, and we ended up doing one of the hiking trails. And when we started, it was a beautiful day like today. But when we got in the middle of the trek, this big fog rolled in and we could almost see nothing, you know what I mean? And I guess it just sparked something because that was in June, and it was only July 1st that I sat down and I had this like vision, I guess, of a story, or beginnings of one. And here we are, years after. So it's it's a fictional novel, but it's very historical fiction as well. For anyone who does read, you'll get that rich, accurate historical events, and then of course I put my own twist on them. Yeah.
Now, Justin, do you possibly see this book continuing as a series, or do you think you'd more, if you were to write a second book, move on to a different storyline?
Well, one of the main things I wanted to do when I started writing this, Gary, was I didn't want to write myself into a corner, because you never know, right? You always have potential for growth, right?
Yes.
So when I wrote it, for anyone who does ever see it or pick it up, it is subtitled An Owen's Odyssey, basically referencing that my main character's last name is Owens. Okay. So I do have a great vision for her in my head. Yes. I like to say I have, about a 4 to 5 book timeline. However, I do want to let any viewers know that this book, if you were to only read this one, it is a self-contained story as well. It's not something that's going to just completely leave you hanging and you got to go get that second one, although that's my hope.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, there is definitely more storylines to be told for this character, which I'm already started the sequel, by the way, for your knowledge.
Okay.
And I'm already on chapter 3 of that. It's really rolling. My story's coming together exactly how I wanted it. But yeah, I do have ideas for other books too, which keep in the back pocket for now.
Now, Justin, if people at home watching right now do want to pick up a copy, where can they do that?
Right now, so I guess for a wider range of audience, Amazon does carry it, of course. They print it for me on demand, basically, it's called. You can get it at local chapters and Coles here on the island, such as in Corner Brook, in St. John's area, Village Mall, Avalon Mall, those places. And I'm also doing some markets myself, such as the St. John's Farmers Market. You can find me randomly in some places trying to sell. But also, you're contacting me directly at an email, which is on my Facebook or on Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I will get one of these books in your hands.
Very good. Now, we're going to do something I like to do with all of my guests right now.
Sure.
It's a little game, sort of, that I like to play called Get to Know Me.
Okay.
So I'll ask you 5 questions, and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
Your favorite food?
Chicken fingers and fries.
Okay. Your favorite color?
Green.
Your favorite song?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say, just for generic purposes, old one, Candy Shop by 50 Cent. I like rap a little bit.
Your favorite place you visited?
Las Vegas. Love Las Vegas.
Yes. And your favorite thing about writing?
I love that you can literally do whatever you want. Whatever you want to be in your story, you can put in there, whether it's a minute detail or a grander scale one or a twist or a turn or a secret. You can hide it in there, and even if no one else finds it or reads it or understands it, you understand it, which I think is really cool.
All right, Justin, now we have about 30 seconds left, and I'd love if you could use that time to just talk to the people at home and tell them why they should read your book.
I mean, for anyone looking to, basically, in these times of the pandemic, I know a lot of people are staying home, a lot of people are reading, and travel, of course, is restricted, obviously, as everyone knows right now. But I've had a lot of people, and even myself, and the purpose of how I wrote it, was you can use this novel to journey outside of Newfoundland and get a real great feel for places such as South America, India, New York is where the book starts. I mean, all these places have a rich atmosphere, and I think a lot of readers could use that right now to, just get away for a little bit in their imagination, so to speak.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much, Justin, for taking the time to come on the program today for a chat. And don't go away, folks. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break with more music from today's musical guest. Welcome back to NL Now on NTV. Here for you this morning, we have an extra little surprise for you. Please welcome, with one of their newest songs, Rugged Shores.
There's a faraway light trailing behind the beacon of my former port, and there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, guiding me to my new home. There's a faraway light trailing behind the beacon of my former port, and there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, guiding me to my new home. Winter long, not as lonesome as I thought, rougher times ended smooth. I had been gone, away from who I was. I found me when I found you. I found me when I found you. And there's a faraway light trailing behind beacon of my former port, and there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, days were the brightest that I've seen. 1 and 1 they made 2. This has become the best I've ever been. I owe this all to you. I owe this much to you. And there's a faraway light trailing behind the beacon of my former port. And there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, guiding me to my new home. There've been other harbors on the way, passing ships in the night. Nothing ever made me wanna stay till I was beckoned by your lights. And there's a faraway light trailing behind the beacon of my former port. And there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, guiding me to my new home. There's a faraway light trailing behind the beacon of my former port. And there's a gleam in your eyes shining so bright, guiding me to my new home, guiding me to my new home.
I am here now on our musical guest set with Rum Ragged. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
I want to start off by asking, when and how did Rum Ragged form as a group?
It would have been about 7 or 8 years ago, I suppose. Myself and Aaron were playing down around the downtown scene and George Street and those areas, and playing in a few different pubs with different groups. And being both from around the Bay, we realized that we had some songs and tunes that people didn't really know of. So we started the band then, recorded an album, and have been going ever since.
Yeah, so how do you guys feel now about being able to get back to live performances since the pandemic is starting to slow down a little?
Oh, it's awesome. It's like a breath of fresh air now, getting to play for a live audience instead of just being on your computer and watching emojis go by and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit more fun for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have anything new coming up that you'd like to talk about?
This summer we've been spending our Thursdays and Saturdays at Rising Tide Theatre in Trinity, and having a few shows there during the week. And we're hoping when September rolls around to take a couple of weeks to enjoy our time with family here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and then head back to the mainland and get back to what we were doing before this whole pandemic rolled out.
Yeah, sounds great. So one last question now. If people want to check out more of your music or just see some more information about Rum Ragged, where can they do that?
You can do it at rumragged.com, or you can, any of the social media outlets, you can find us there at Rum Ragged, and also at singsonginc.ca, where you can find tons of great Newfoundland and Labrador music that you won't find anywhere else.
Well, that's great. Thank you once again, guys, so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks a million, Gary.
We will be right back after this short break with another song from Rum Ragged to close out today's show of NL Now.